Hey guys, this is Shio from FTC team number 5894, V-Cube, and today we're going to be learning about the light sensor in NXT-G. So what is the light sensor? Well, the light sensor is a sensor included with the NXT build kit. It measures how bright something is, and it's usually used in FLL to tell the difference between black and white. So how can I use the light sensor? Well, to use it, you obviously have to use the light sensor block, which looks a lot like this. And with it, you can measure how dark or light something is, as well as make conditions. We'll be going over conditions in the next slide. So, how do I use the control panel? Well, the control tells you what type of block it is. In this case, it's a sensor. And the sensor it is the light sensor. The port tells the program what port the light sensor is connected to and where to look for the light value. Until basically allows you to set a value for the light sensor that it's measuring. And so black is usually 0, white's 100, but in order to factor in the lighting and other factors that you can't take in immediately, you usually have it so that black is less than 20 and white is greater than 80. Function is the type of things that the light sensor itself, the hardware, can do. And the only thing the light sensor can do is it can generate light. Well, what does this mean? The light sensor brick itself has a little IR light attached to it, and this can shine down onto the surface you're measuring for brightness. And so what exactly can I do with it? Well, you can make conditions, and these are big because you can measure what type, where you are basically, and say if it's black down here, then I want to execute this string of commands. Or if it's white, then this. And you can also program loops, which basically means that you can have a loop, so you can run something a certain number of times, but when you add a light sensor to it, you can run that thing until it detects a light value of a certain color. You can also get information on where you are on the field. This is confusing because it doesn't make sense at first glance. What I'm trying to say is that let's say there's one spot on the field that is black, and you want to know when you get there. So if you run a check with the light sensor to see if it's black, then you know you're there. So now let's get into some programming. So let's make a new project called light sensor. And what we're going to start with this project, let's start with loops. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a new loop, and what a loop is, right now the control is forever, so we want to make that sensor. This tells us, like I went over, what type of block it is. And the sensor we're going to pick is light sensor, obviously. Let's assume right now it's in port 1, and let's plug it in there. And so let's say you want to make this loop go until the light value is black. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put 20 here and have it less than. So this means that if the light value that it gets is less than 20 or black, then it will execute whatever's in here. And we're going to take off the generate light for now. And so let's make this thing do something. So let's put the move block inside. And if you haven't learned about the move block yet, then go ahead and check out our other video. It's also on our channel, Making Your Robot Move. It's the first video in this series. So, like that other video went over, we're going to have the ports be B and C, direction forward. And this is just a matter of personal opinion, but I usually put B and C like this. And then we're going to make the power 75, and the duration here, you can really have it anything but unlimited. That's not because unlimited wouldn't work, but only because it's more accurate to go by rotation. Even more accurate, however, is degrees. So you could have it move like 700 degrees. So this will mean it'll complete almost 2 full rotations before it stops and then looks for a value. Our next action can be break or coast. This really doesn't matter. So what this program will do right now is it will just keep going forward until it reads a light value of less than 20 or black. So how do conditions work? Well, Well, conditions work like this. So the block you're going to use for this is the switch block. And so this, again, is a sensor value block. And we're going to change the sensor to light sensor because that's what we're focused on. And so if you look at this right now, we're going to change it to port 1 again. And this right here basically tells you what it's going to do if it's a light value or a white, or what it's going to do if it's a dark value or a black. So if you set it at 50, you can have it so that if it's higher than 50, then you'll do this string of commands, and if it's lower than 50, you'll do this. So again, I'm going to turn off generate light. Really, the only way to describe it is to go ahead and test it out yourself. That'll tell you whether you like the generate light or whether you don't. It'll throw off your values a little bit depending on how you do it. So I'm going to put in 2 move blocks, alright? And what I'm going to do is change this to B and C again. And let's say if it's over that, I want it to go really fast for, let's say, 3 rotations. However, if it's dark, I want it to go slow for 2 rotations and then coast. Okay? So what this will do is, let's say you're on the mat and you check the value with the light sensor, and if it's light or less than or greater than 50, then what it'll do is it'll go forward for 3 rotations at a fast speed. However, if it's less than 50, it'll go forward for 2 rotations and then come to a coast. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, so how do we put it together? Well, what we're going to do, we'll go over more of this in the next video, but what we're going to do for now is have a switch and then a loop inside of it. So let's say at your starting value, you don't know whether it's white or black, okay? And so what we're going to do is, if it's white, you want to go forward forever, and if it's black, you want to go backwards forever. And so I'm going to go, I want you to pause the video and go ahead and see if you can do this by yourself, and then come back and see how I did it. Okay, so I hope you went and tried this, and if you didn't, oh well. But we're going to change this to light sensor, port 1, or whatever port it is, and then we're going to keep it at 50, turn off generate light, and we want this as an infinite loop this time. So no matter, it does not really matter what the light sensor is, it just matters what this value will be. So we just want it to go forward. You can have it 1 rotation, forward forever. That's all you have to do. In this one, it's almost the same thing, but you just have to click that to make it go backwards. Okay, we're going to try one more exercise. And it's going to be close to the same thing, but a little bit different. So we're going to have a switch, as well as 2 loops again. But in this one, I want you to do almost the same thing, but if it's white, then I want you to go forward until you see black. And if it's black, I want you to go backwards until you see white. So go ahead and try that out, and then come back. Okay, so I hope you went and tried that out. So what we're going to do is close to the same thing as last time. We're going to change this to light sensor, port 1. And so this will give you, again, light here, black here. So what we're going to do here, though, is we're going to put this as sensor, and this is light sensor. And we're going to put this as 20. Remember that I said that if it's less than 20, then it's pretty much considered black. Turn off generate light again. Okay. And then move forward 1 rotation. So if you don't understand this, I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown. So if you go backwards while we were talking about loops, what's going to happen right now is it's going to run this command continuously until it sees black. But it'll only run this command assuming that its start value was bright or white, whichever way you want it. And so we're going to do the same thing for this, except we're going to make this sensor light. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this go to 80. 80. Okay. And then be greater than, keep that. So what this is going to do, and we're going to make this go backwards. So what this is going to do, this is a really basic program, and what it's going to do basically is if it's white, then it's going to go forward until it sees black, and if it's black, then it's going to go backwards until it sees white. So good job, guys. You guys successfully completed the light sensor video of this series. Um, it would be really awesome if you guys could subscribe or like this video, because it just helps us out to know that we're doing making a difference in our society. And if you want to learn more about us, go ahead and visit our website, vqftcrobotics.webs.com. And if you want to learn more about ORTOP, or Oregon Robotics, um, ortop.org. This is assuming you're in Oregon. And just about robotics, or FIRST in general, throughout the US, usfirst.org. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you our site. And so this is our website, and it's great, actually. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.